Demi Lovato has made it clear that calling aliens aliens is racist, and we should instead strive to be better and call them something less racist, like star people. Well, in honor of our non-binary royalty, in honor of our queen, we will not be calling aliens by their dead names, and we will instead be calling them star people for the rest of this video. Please be respectful.
One by one, entranced by the Prince of Darkness, they fall under his power. And as
Traumathon 5. Sever.
Star people. Alright, I'm giving up. I'm sorry. It's too much. Aliens. Since the beginning of time, mankind has wondered if there is life beyond the stars, if we're alone on this godforsaken rock, or if there are friends out there waiting for us to make contact with them, or enemies. Fast forward to the modern age, and it seems that maybe it's other beings out there that are trying to make contact with us. Ever since the incident in Roswell involving strange flying crafts hovering over the Nevada town of Roswell, alien sightings have been far more common for damn near close to 100 years. This turned out to be the origin of interest for aliens in the modern age. The Roswell incident, as well as the nuclear age, the Cold War, as well as the space race, sort of accelerating the average person's interest in aliens and other celestial beings. This was pretty much the era that had humans questioning more and more what our governments were capable of, as well as what they were hiding. If the Roswell incident was a cover-up, people thought, then what else could the government be hiding? And so spawned the space age, where people were more skeptical of the government and were more interested in fantasies of aliens, whose stories became more prevalent in fiction such as movies, comics, and books. But even then, it can be argued that many cultures around the world have seen UFOs, or UAPs as they're now called, for centuries now. So interest has always been there for mankind, if not niche. Though truthfully, I'm not going to really entertain that because most people's evidence towards other cultures making contact with alien life derives from the fact that other cultures are just weird. This is... Look, seriously, this is a real edit from a History Channel show about fucking aliens. It's dumb, dude, seriously. Besides that, focusing on modern day evidence is much more fascinating anyways. As a child who was really getting into more occult stuff, UFOs were right up there for me in my quest to find anything slightly paranormal being real. Unfortunately, my obsession had unwanted side effects of making me afraid of being abducted. No shit, I really was afraid of that. Like, there was a butt ton of alien documentaries and alien movies that just sort of popped up one day. Sure, alien movies were always a thing, but because of the advent of camcorders, amateur UFO hunting skyrocketed sometime in the late 80s and early 90s, so the amount of evidence that was piling on became more prominent. This ramped up alien sightings to an 11, as everyday people could now point to the sky and say, oh, what is that? Now, most of the time, it was just airplanes that people don't recognize, or blimps, or even like, I don't know, other stars, even. But thanks to all of this, we saw a resurgence of interest in aliens as a whole. Before this, aliens were more a background entity, sort of like how ghosts used to be. They were nothing more than science fiction, and though there were sightings that spread across the world, most people who were into alien research were a very small collective of people. However, thanks to the new coming digital age and easier access to cameras, this number grew and grew every year, to the point where people now believe that the government is withholding alien tech and secrets and might even be run by aliens. Ooh. Now obviously crackpot theories have been around forever, but with the access of the internet, it seems like these kind of people who make these kinds of theories have germinated, and more have popped up now. But you know, let's sift away from the more convoluted and clearly wacky weird theories and just talk about the potential of it all. See, because that's always been the conversation. If aliens were true, who knows, why are they hiding it from us? Is it to protect us? Are we worth protecting? Well, who fucking cares when we got the singer and guitarist of Blink-182 to help shed some light on our asses? Huh. Yeah, so Tom DeLonge, somehow he found a way to get actual UFO evidence. And yeah, it's real. Like, how did he get this info? He just kind of asked for it, apparently. But there's all these confusing, nuanced details that I don't really want to get into. The point is, he actually found UFO info that forced the government to say, yeah, UFOs exist. Now, I'm not saying that this in fact proves aliens exist also, but UFOs do actually exist, as in unidentified flying objects do hover above our heads almost constantly. Some people ran with this and immediately started saying aliens exist, sure, but there's no real proof of extraterrestrial beings interfering in our human lives, just sort of that there are things out there that we can't really fully explain. By the way, can we talk real quick about how UFOs are now called UAPs? Apparently they're doing this now because too many people in the army were being big fucking pussies about reporting UFOs because they were afraid about sounding crazy. So now they're called UAPs. And that's stupid. But it doesn't end there. Some dude earlier this year came out and said, hey, aliens are real. Like, for really real. I could show you evidence that they're really real, for super real, actually. And the world collectively shrugged. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's that thing in Mexico. That thing, yeah, right. So what happened to everyone's interest in aliens? What happened to the wonders that people had about these little gray men that we were all kind of addicted to back then when we were kids, back when our grandparents were kids? Why the sudden disinterest? All this stuff is coming out at pretty much lightning fast speed compared to the past hundreds of years that we as a collective, as a humanity, as mankind have been wondering forever now if there are aliens. Suddenly we get all this info within 5 years and then everyone's just kind of like, who cares? Well, for starters, that happened. So nobody really could give a shit because too much shit was happening. Secondly, I think the evidence shown isn't really convincing enough for most people, and I think this gives some UFO hunters / alien enthusiasts some credit. The reason they're not head over heels about this whole thing is because, really, what does this prove? Speaking for myself, I just kind of want to see an actual alien craft and real alien bodies. I've been seeing blips for decades now. I kind of want more. And to be fair, that one footage shown back in 2019 about the UFO was super exciting. It was more than a blip. It was a blip confirmed by the government. And fact of the matter is, when the government said, hey, I don't know what this is, it could be anything, it got a lot of people going, holy shit, that's kind of crazy. That is exciting news. But it doesn't really mean shit. It doesn't lead to anything. It just leads to more questions, which is fine. We've been asking so many questions for so many years now, but when are we gonna get actual answers? Even the so-called answers that we're getting are pretty lukewarm. Listen, the reality is, even though this guy said that there are aliens, he ain't really show shit. And he's pretty hesitant to show shit. In fact, most of his evidence that the government confirmed that there are aliens is just some guy within the government he talked to confirming that he can say that there are aliens, but that he isn't allowed to share with the people government secrets. So he can technically say that there are aliens because there aren't aliens? Is that what the government said? I don't know. I mean, it's just convoluted and weird. And speaking of convoluted and weird, this thing... Look, there's the whole Mexican alien thing, which is just such a joke. Didn't they send this alien to like local labs and they basically just said, yeah, like these are aliens? Look, I don't really even want to entertain the possibilities of these things even being real, and genuinely, I don't think anyone wants to either. Yet I feel if this were another time period, say maybe the late 90s, early 2000s, people might have had more interest in these things. And that's sort of the point I'm trying to make here. There was a boom, a rise in interest for alien content, for better or for worse. Maybe they might be shit, maybe it was pretty good evidence, but at the same time, people at least gave it a chance. To the point where dozens of alien shows rose in the late 90s and 2000s because of this evidence. Dozens of alien movies came out of nowhere because of our fascination of space, yet it seems now that interest has sort of ran dry. I genuinely think that humanity is much more curious and open nowadays, and I'm not using Twitter as an example of humanity because it's just not. I think the general consensus wants to believe and wants to learn more, yet we have no answers. I don't think aliens are lame nowadays, honestly. I just think most people who are enthused about aliens are kind of tired about them. And with people getting better at CG and effects, it gets genuinely hard to remain interested when you've kind of seen it all and pretty much think all of it is fake. What we need next is answers. If what we have next is yet another guy talking about how aliens are for real, actually super for real, I think most of us will just shrug again. What we really need now is just proof. Yet with this surge of quote-unquote evidence, there's no doubt a surge of interest comes with it, and maybe in the future we'll even see more spooky alien evidence, more spooky alien movies, and more spooky alien documentaries to consume and to enjoy. Except for this one. This one genuinely sucks. Stop supporting it.